do you know how much our country has been let down by everything that's going on at the moment? Being completely let down just by the people that were meant to lead us when they don't lead us at all. The reason I'm making this video today, and obviously you can see by the title, 5 tips to deal with anxiety, is because at the moment, especially at the moment, our government, so I'm talking about the UK especially, and I know this is going on throughout the world in different states in America and in different countries as well, is that we are still being placed into lockdowns. We are being let out of lockdowns, being put back into lockdowns, even though a lot of scientists have said that this is not helping to actually get rid of the spread of coronavirus and everything else like that. Recently, scientists from the World Health Organization came out and said that lockdowns, even though at the start we thought that was the best option, because we weren't aware of what the virus was, and not the best for actually tackling the virus. You can see in countries like Sweden, they had literally less death rates and less deaths than us, and compared to the population, they also have less deaths and less cases. And they had no lockdown. They kept everything as normal, kept all the business going, and now their economy is actually okay. People are not losing their jobs. People are not worrying about everything. At the moment, I believe the UK government and the governments across the world are sending people into states that are not helping us as a society, and on a mass scale can cause even worse problems than usual, like, for example, suicide. That's even worse than the rates of suicide are even worse than coronavirus at the moment, and the lockdown is completely helping it because of the fact that people are losing jobs. The economy's bad. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to pay the bills. Some people don't even know how to eat. Some people don't have don't have food. Some people don't have a shelter over their head, and yet we're still putting places into lockdown, shutting down businesses. And in my area, the Liverpool City region area, we have been shutting down, well, not we, it's not like I want it, the government has been shutting down gyms, pubs, restaurants. Well, restaurants have been keeping open, thankfully. That's one good thing. Restaurants, gyms are probably one of the most vital things for our anxiety, mental health, etc. Now, if you haven't clicked onto my channel before, please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment for what else you'd like to know as well. The reason why is because I do a lot of help. I basically just show people how to help with mental health, as well as grow spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I also do a lot on music and on how music can really benefit your mental health and the best way to make and listen to music. And the reason why I wanted to make this video today is just to help people. It is literally just to help people, nothing else. I think I have dealt with anxiety, and even though I've learned throughout the years a lot of ways to deal with anxiety, I still can get very anxious about what's going on within the world right now. Not because of coronavirus. I mean, at the start of lockdown, I was, because we didn't know about it, but I knew it would all be okay. And now that I know it's a 99.97 death rate, I'm more worried about the power that people that are so-called in power are placing onto us as a society. I'm going to be releasing a full podcast on Saturday, which I'm going to go into depth about the actual solution to deal with all of this, because I don't believe our government is actually giving a valid solution to actually help and get on with our daily lives, get on with everything economically, get on with everything, and how to deal with coronavirus properly. Because if in the chance that anyone gets it, which, let's be honest, it's a high chance that anyone gets it, there's a way to actually survive it and not let it affect you. And I think that with these ways that I'm going to be going through in this podcast, I believe that if we actually put more focus and attention into these ways and sort of put more all the funding that is actually being placed into promoting lockdown, promoting all these stuff like face wash your hands or whatever the fucking cunts are saying at this time. Honestly, I don't know what they're saying. Can be placed into actually helping people's immune system, and we can actually help shelter the people and take care of the people even better that are actually that actually have immune system problems, and I believe that is probably the best case, and nobody's looking at it. I think at the moment in time, this is just really worsening businesses, just for something that's not really killing that many people. And obviously, people are dying from it. Rest in peace to everyone dying from it. However, a lot of people are okay. 99.97% death rate. Let me get that clear to you again. I believe it's a 1 in something million chance, like a 1 in 16 million chance that you can actually die from it. However, there's been 14 and 100,000, 14 people out of 100,000 have been committing suicide throughout the world at the moment in time. So, you know what I mean? I feel like we have to get out this lockdown, place more, and even if we are getting locked down, we have to show people how to benefit their mental health. And I know I've been going on for about 6 minutes, but I believe this needs to be said, because nobody empowered is even looking at it. I know our local, I'm from Widnes, so our Halton MP mentioned the question. I'm going to put it up here in the video. Mentioned the question to the Prime Minister, and he absolutely blanked it, and didn't look like he cared for people's mental health and our mental health properly. I'm going to make a video on this on Saturday, and I'm also going to make a proper response, and just to the Tory government. That'll be coming out soon, and I'm going to do it in a very creative way, which hopefully should get to them. So I'll go on about that in the video on Saturday. However, obviously, Boris Johnson, like, literally, I don't like you as a person. I don't like Boris Johnson as a person. However, when he got coronavirus, when it was in the early stages, I prayed for him. I completely prayed for him, because it doesn't matter if I don't like someone or not. I don't want to see anyone else suffer in any way, shape or form. And regardless if I don't like him as a person, or if I don't like his policies or is out for anything, I don't want to see the person suffer. I don't want to see the person even get ill. I don't wish that on anyone, even my worst enemy. And I'm not saying Boris Johnson's even an enemy. I don't care. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone, especially death. So the fact that we as a nation, even if we didn't agree with your policies and everything like that, we as a nation were hoping that you would be okay. We're praying that you'd be okay, what should I say? And you just done this, thrown this right back in our face, showing that you genuinely don't care about us as people. And you could try and argue and say, oh, I'm caring, trying to get you to not deal with coronavirus and everything, or not to get coronavirus, when in reality the real illness at this time, the real virus, is people's mental health suffering and people's physical health suffering. Example, shutting down gyms. So I'll get into the tips, because I went on for 8 minutes. If you want to learn more about my rant, watch the podcast I'm going to be doing on Saturday. I was putting this podcast off for a while, but I thought I'm going to have to do it now. Let's get into a happy mood, come on. So the way to actually deal with anxiety, one of the ways to deal with anxiety is to get your body moving. Now, honestly, turn on your favourite music, whether it be house music or anything like that. Turn on your favourite music, get dancing, get moving. You'll love it. I'm really being serious. You'll love it. If, say for example, you're overthinking about something, you're overthinking about what's going on in the world, you're reading too much of the news, turn off the news. Just completely turn it off, but bam, see you later. When you turn off the news, that's a burp then. Turn off the news, turn on your favourite music, and get dancing around. Like, just move your body. Like, that's the best way to move your body and get exercising. Like, honestly, just get exercising, and get exercising in a good mood, whether that be lifting weights, doing yoga, running, doing any sort of cardio. Cardio's the best. And dancing. Just do dancing, because that sets you up for a good mood. Even if your dancing's terrible like mine, even if your dancing's terrible, then just keep doing it. The reason why is because it actually gets you in a good mood. For that moment when you think, listen to your favourite song, dancing, then you're actually not taking in all the worries of the world at that moment in time, and you're just loving life a bit more. So, you know what I mean? Like, get your body moving, you'll be all good. Focus on your breath. And that brings me on to number 2. Breath work. One reason I don't see why the government are not promoting this more than anything. One way to actually stop worrying is just to focus on your breath. And honestly, that's the best way that I've dealt with anxiety for ages, probably the majority of my teen life, and I was very shy when I was younger as well. And the way I dealt with it, more than anything, so I've been to the doctors, seen loads of things. The way I dealt with it more than anything is just breath work. If I start overthinking, I notice I'm overthinking, and I use something called a pattern interrupt, which we're going to get into in the next tip, and to sort of break me thinking, and then just start breathing. So the most common one I do is called a box breath. That kills anxiety. I've talked about it a lot in my other videos, and all you do is breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and hold your breath for 4 seconds. Just focus on the cycle. Do it a couple of times. Just keep on doing it. I'd say about 20 times. To be honest, I try to do it pretty much every day, especially when you work in life and everything like that. It stops you stressing, stops you thinking about anything, stops you thinking about everything else. It sort of breaks the pattern of your thoughts, and you're basically, from that moment on, you're just sort of more tranquil. You don't really deal with as much pressure from the world, because all the stress that you go through, all the stress, everything like that, is only in your head. For that couple seconds when you focus on your breathing, you're only really focusing on your breath. As I was breathing, then you were like, "Oh, what's he doing there?" You're just focusing on my breath. So do that for yourself. You know what I mean? Just do it for yourself. Just focus on your breath. And just repeat the process over and over and over again. And if you find yourself worrying again, don't be like, "Oh, I've worried again." It's a normal human trait. Otherwise, if I could just not worry again, I wouldn't do breath work. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't do it. If I was just like, I'm just not going to worry anymore. And I wouldn't practice breath work. That's the way to actually do it. And third way, what I talked about before, if you find that you keep on having these overthinking loops, when I talk about overthinking loops, I'm on about like you're just thinking too much in your head, I'd recommend for you actually to do a pattern interrupt. Like, no, a funny one I do is I always imagine like a squeaky duck. I just go, "Oh, fuck a duck." Like, honestly, I'm not actually gonna. Oh Jesus! Just realised how bad that sounds. Obviously, I'm not involved in any bestiality. YouTube, please don't ban my account. But it's just the expression of saying it just sounds funny, and it gets me to laugh. So I go, "Oh, fuck a duck, I'm doing it again." Like, and then that moment I know I'm like, I don't go out loud, "Fuck a duck." Like, I don't say that when I'm in the middle of shopping in Aston. I'm not saying that. What I say, the reason why I do that is because I can actually focus more on the breathing. So I'll do that, and then I'm like, it's okay. Focus on my breathing, and that really helps me personally. I just sort of go whoop, whoop, and then I start thinking about things I'm grateful for, and instead of doing an overthinking loop about negative things, I do an overthinking loop about positive things. Because if you're an overthinker, then you're not going to stop thinking. It's one thing that used to really stress me out. I was like, why am I thinking too much? Thinking's a beautiful thing. Like, thinking and actually like creating ideas in your own head is a really amazing actual attribute to have. And the fact that everything that's going on within the world right now is trying to stop and distract you from what you can actually access within your brain. And instead of thinking about everything else that's going on within the world, why not think about everything you're thankful for instead? What you focus on expands, energy expands. And I know at the beginning of this video I'm talking about everything that's not really that great in the world. Well, the reason I'm talking about that is because it's time for a positive change. And the reason why I'm trying to flip what you can actually see into a positive change. I'm sort of coming down to the level and going like, right, and I can 100% get what you are all going through right now. Economic recessions, we're going through, a lot of people having depression, anxiety, everything like that. And this is not just happening throughout coronavirus's lockdown. It's also happened for a lot of years before, and because of social media, everything else like that, the amount of content you're consuming in is not really helping you as a person. So that's what I recommend, is just to focus on your breath work. There's a couple of breath work techniques as well. If you'd like to see more of that, please leave a comment below, and comment if you'd like to know more breath work techniques to just stop thinking about everything else that's going on within the world right now, and I'll help you with that. Another way is meditation. Now, meditation, everyone's like, breath work is the same as it's not. I'm on about breath work when you're actually going throughout your day-to-day life. The fourth way is in meditation. It's taking about 20 minutes out of your day. To be honest, you can start out with like 10 minutes if you'd really like. And just taking them minutes out of your day to actually just focus on your breathing. Close your eyes or light a candle and just focus on that candle. And then really you can focus on your breathing that way. And it's not about stopping your thoughts or changing your thoughts. It's about observing your thoughts. That's what the whole thing about meditation is like. You just observe what you think and you're like, okay, alright, okay, I'm thinking that. Because a lot of the times our lives are very busy. We go through a lot, and that's one of the reasons why we're overthinking. When you sort of doing meditation, you can sort of let go of everything that's really in your subconscious mind. You can delve deep into the... Now, obviously, I'm not saying like just become some Buddha at first and then everything will let go and all your fears will go away. It takes time, it takes practice. However, after your first meditation session, you usually feel better, even if it's just a tiny bit. And the more you do it, the more you realise the actual effects and how much it benefits you. If I had to go a day without skipping meditation, I can tell because I have not a brain fog. I'm like, oh, I just can't focus on as many stuff. Like for today, I only did like some quick breath work in the morning, not my usual like 10 to 20 minute meditation. And I felt a bit brain foggy. I was like, oh, right, okay, so that reminds me to just go more into meditation. I usually do some in the morning by just sitting up, and then some at night, usually by lying down before bed. Or sometimes I can actually just sit down before bed, meditate, and then go to bed. I say in the morning and before bed because that just clears everything. Turn off your phone before you go to bed. So, or even, no, you don't have to turn off your phone, but turn off all social media and news and every notification, because then that thought goes into your sleep, and while you're sleeping, it's just not the best to be putting into your brain. Your brain, I'm going to be going into loads of detail there, but your brain goes into theta brainwave state just before you sleep and when you wake up, and that's the perfect time to learn things. That's why I recommend meditating those times, because you can actually learn more positive things and insert more positive aspects into your subconscious mind, and it just helps you throughout your day. Yep. And the fifth one, probably the easy. If everyone just thinks that there's the tablet to kill anxiety, like Xanax or something, which is horrible. Like Xanax is literally horrible. Like I don't get why it's still a thing. It kills your anxiety for like a couple minutes, and then the next day you've got the worst anxiety ever. So I would not recommend that entirely at all. If your doctor's trying to prescribe that, so you only have it in cases where your anxiety is really, really bad. But I'd recommend doing all these. I don't even think they prescribe it anymore. I don't think they shouldn't. I recommend doing all of these first, because of the reason. You may as well try all these and try them on a daily basis before thinking about a prescription pill. It's unnatural. Think about 2,000 years ago. How did we deal with anxiety as people? We dealt with it this way. The fifth way, if you want a supplement to take, which will help it really, really well, CBD. It's legal in most countries now. I think it's legal in America, UK, Holland, quite a few countries. I believe it's being legalised in New Zealand. It's extremely, extremely healthy and really, really benefits. The reason why, it kills inflammation within your body, so you're not... Usually when you're worrying, it's usually like an autoimmune response of your body going, oh, there's something wrong here, and you don't really know what's wrong, so you're trying to find what's wrong. CBD just lets everything chill out, lets your brain chill out, and you're like, okay, cool. And usually you can work out like what you're worrying about as well, if that makes sense. If that makes sense, really helps for me, honestly, because usually sometimes I'll be like, why am I worrying about that when I'm like on CBD? And it's nothing psychoactive at all, which a lot of people get confused by. Everyone thinks it's actual weed. It's nothing like weed at all. It's nothing. You just feel normal. And if anything, you just feel better in your body, less aches. You don't ache as much, and your brain's not aching as much either. You just sort of chill, if that makes sense. Like, okay. And it literally just makes you feel more relaxed. It actually is amazing. It's wonderful. Now, I completely highly recommend CBD. I'll leave a link to the description below to where you can get some CBD from. Probably some of the best CBD I find. You can also go to like local health shops. Most of it is in there as well. And even though you might be thinking, it might be a bit too much, it's the best investment you can make. If you're going through anxiety, invest into that completely. Okay, that was the whole video. I'm all done. That was like 5 tips to deal with anxiety. I've got a lot more stored up in my brain. I was about to start unraveling loads. If you'd like to see more, then please leave a like and a comment below. Any ways you can actually deal with anxiety, I'll go more in depth into that. It's like specific ways that you can actually do it. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe for more content like I mentioned earlier, and I'll see you later.